Hello, everyone, and welcome to your Daily Detroit, sharing what to know and where to go in Southeast Michigan. It is Tuesday, March 18th, 2025. Sharing what to know and where to go in Southeast Michigan. I'm coming to you from the home studio in the North End, and coming to me via the magic of the inner tubes, the interwebs, the pipes, not roads, whatever. Fletcher Sharp, how are you?
Coming to you via Beyonce's internet, and I'm all right. You know, it's kind of regressed in temperature wise, but the sun's out, and the sun's out. It means a Michigan 40-degree feels like a Florida 60. I can live with that.
You know, there's something beautiful about the sun's out, guns out, because the muscles of my dog are amazing. Of all the dogs are amazing. So it's like when a little bit of the sun comes out, it's like sun's out, guns out.
Yeah, I have friends who live in like Florida, and someone's like, it's chilly. And I was like, what's the temperature? They're like, it's 55. And I was like, shut up. You're from the Midwest. Don't ever say that ever again. Like, how dare you? Honestly, I hope it drops to 40, and I hope everyone in your city loses their mind. So yeah, it's appreciate this weather, because the sun out can change a lot of things.
Can I start with a grievance? I know it's not Festivus, but I have a grievance, Fletcher.
Yeah.
All right. On social media, on the internet, there's this thing, and I get why they do it, because everybody searches for these. So I get the motivation behind it. But I am more than annoyed at the amount of things that are hidden gems, but not. It feels like we are labeling everything as a hidden gem, even if it's in plain sight off Woodward with a 5-foot tall sign. And it drives me crazy. I know the incentives behind it. I get it. I get that people search for hidden gems. I get that, like, it's a popular term, but I feel like this is way overused. And I know it's a product of the internet losing all context, that we're all in like 15, 20-second snippets yapping at each other.
I mean, I get it. We're kind of creatures of habit. Like, when I go to the local Coney Island by me, I get one of two things, same order. If when I go to the OHOP Pancake House, I get the same order every single time. There's not a variation. If there is a variation, it's maybe whether instead of maybe one side of bacon, it's two sides of bacon, but it's the same order otherwise. So you see something else that's not that, then like it might seem like a hidden gem. Like it might be something that everyone has seen, but like to you, you're just seeing it now. It's like, oh, I did not know that.
Is the Warby Parker store a hidden gem? Is the Gucci store a hidden gem?
Well, those are like big name brands. It's different there. Like if Gucci is like a hidden gem to you, then like I need to see what your bank account looks like, because you're busy getting like stuff that we've never heard of that's apparently name brand to you. If Gucci's like, I've never heard of this before. But like I get it, because again, we're all creatures of habit, and with the internet kind of eroding our attention spans a bit more than before, we like something, we get fixated to it, and that just becomes what it is. And you know, you get a little bit of change. It's like, I didn't know this. I did not realize this place was here. If you go to Mexican Town, like I'm sure when I even said that, people listening had like one or two places they go to automatically. It's like, I think of this place. I think of this place. Any other place there, any taqueria, any other restaurant, because you didn't know about it before, it becomes like a hidden little specialty that you did not realize.
Yeah, I would suggest to people the pro tip that there is so much more to Mexican Town than that little strip by the bridge by Werner that's there. That's a Mexican Town a lot of people colloquially know of because it's really easy to get to, but there are so many more Mexican restaurants beyond that to explore, just as a extra note.
Someone on Threads was like, if you're from Detroit, you love a Coney. What's your favorite Coney, American or Lafayette? And then he got mad when people are like, the neighborhoods. He's like, no, these are better. And it's like, if you think Coney's only these two establishments, you've probably not had a real Detroit Coney in some time. Like it's way more than just those two. Like obviously those are the two most known, but using that as an example, literally any neighborhood Coney that's not one of those two, it becomes like a hidden gem just because you think Coney Island in the city of Detroit is just one of two places next to each other downtown.
I feel like a third of Threads nowadays is engagement bait. I can't believe that I saw this, but I saw a thirst trap account, and I'm not judging how people work. Make your money how you make your money. But I saw a thirst trap account posting about the possibilities of the Rensen demolition. And I'm sitting there going, what? We've got the people who are posting just as like pictures of their busts just in your feed randomly talking about the Rensen demolition. What timeline are we in?
Oh no, why don't you tell us their account so we can all avoid it?
Fletcher Sharp.
Let's make sure to block that one.
Did you see the Republican candidate for governor? I'm not going to name him because I know that this is just cheap heat for some name ID. So I'm not going to do that. I'm for either party. I'm not going to play that game. But it did annoy me because he wants to change Lake Erie to Lake Ohio, which is dumb because Ohio means river. So then it would be Lake River. I mean, there's all the reasons why it's dumb because I understand the whole thing. Well, there's a Lake Michigan. There should be a Lake Ohio. But come on. Like, I was just like, we are truly in the era of cheap heat. No, I do not want to see a Lake Ohio.
I mean, it's a sound idea to do, not the Lake Ohio. That's stupid. Like, that's stupid on many reasons. It's like an ATM machine. Like, you don't have to do that, man. We got it.
That's right.
One of these
automated
the
teller
M
machine.
means machine.
Yeah.
M means machine. Or if you're like the Sahara Desert, like, come on.
Doesn't ragu mean sauce? Isn't it like sauce?
Yeah, I mean that's more of a question for people in Philadelphia, but that's neither here nor there. But no, it's a sound thing to do where it's like if I keep putting out crazy things, my name's gonna pick up traction, and eventually people are gonna. It's like how some mixtape rappers like Papoose. I like Papoose's music from time to time, but there was a point where he was like, "I'm gonna put out 100 mixtapes in like 3 months." Charles Hamilton did the same thing. Were all of the work's good? No. But you knew that they were out there making music because they were busy making music. And eventually one's going to stick. And if one sticks, you can then go from that point. So yeah, if you go say, like there's a Michigan representative who just put out 2 really off the wall proposals that even in today's climate, I don't think would pass. But his name's out there. We're not using their name, but even the fact we're talking about this, like it means it's succeeding to a degree. Mm-hmm. Like they realize if they say crazy things, yeah, they might not have it pass, but maybe someone else sees them and goes, hey, he's got a flower pot for a head, but I like his energy. Maybe we'll get behind this guy, maybe we'll do this. And that's how, some people go from a comptroller to maybe a vice president or more,
Yeah. It makes me think of Brandolini's Law, where when you're trying to fact check, this is one of the reasons why, and I have a very unpopular opinion around this. I don't think that fact checks work very well because the human brain is a funny thing, and that the more you repeat something, the more it sticks in your brain and can have a good association. So when somebody does something really stupid, going forward, I'm not going to mention their names because I know what it is, but I do want to call out that this is dumb. And when you do Brandolini's Law, you realize that so much of this is just repeating. And so in many ways, the journalist gets used to reinforce the fake news because in reality, even if you say it's wrong, even if you put a little buzzer, whatever, you're saying it. And if you say it, it sticks.
It's like that there's an episode of the old show on Adult Swim called Home Movies, and there was an episode about not putting marbles in your nose. And like the lyrics were, don't stick marbles in your nose, don't stick them in, and like all the kids put the marbles in their nose because they kept hearing marbles in nose. And they're like, yeah, for sure. And then it's like, what point of the video did you, and they're like, at the beginning, he said it over and over, don't put marbles in your nose, and it's like, okay. So yeah, if I kept saying Fletcher Sharp has a 50-inch vertical, Fletcher Sharp has 50, eventually you're going to say Fletcher 50-inch vertical over and over and over and over. Like people are just going to assume like that's what it is. He has this because I heard it somewhere. And like, that's how misinformation gets spread like wildfire is. All I have to do is just say 1 or 2 things that are a little bit kooky, have someone try to refute it who's actually like important, and then all of a sudden it goes from like, you know, this little thought you had at the back of your head at 3 a.m. to like front page New York Times. Like, some people are okay with any news is good news, even if it's like being told that you're an idiot. Like, their name's out there and that's all that matters to them.
So you having a 50-inch vertical reportedly, or as the rumors say, is that the fact, the fake fact that you want out there? Do we want to introduce you as Fletcher Sharp with a 50-inch vertical, or do you have a other preferred untruth that you would like us to know about or know you for?
I'll have to think of one that I'm going to have to pepper in the next few weeks, honestly.
dailydetroit@gmail.com. What fake fact should we give Fletcher Sharp to repeat over and over again? I'd love to know.
I mean, I used to have like a 40-inch vertical, but that's before my knees gave out. So, and that's not even like a lie. Like, I can pull up metrics that show that. I could dunk at 5'10" easily.
What was this, a long route to a humble brag?
Oh no. Because
I never could dunk and I am above 5'10".
If I could dunk now, it would be, but I can definitely not anymore. It's bragging on the past is like strange. So no.
We are on the doorstep of the NCAA Men's College Basketball Championship. Michigan State both look to show strongly. Before we get into this bracket, I want to ask a question, and maybe it's stupid, but forgive me. Why is Michigan and Michigan State in the South bracket? Is that just because of where it's like the stadium is located? Like, what? That's never made sense to me.
Yeah, it's never really like where the schools actually are, because they would obviously be in the Midwest. I'm not really even sure how they group them together. I do know when Michigan State has been a 1 seed, I know they've typically been the 1 seed in the Midwest. Same with Michigan, but like if you're not the 1 seed, you typically don't. They put you the closest they can to like your university, but like if you're not a 1 seed, you don't really matter. You don't really factor in to that. So it's jarring. Like there's one time you'll see Michigan, it's like, they're in the West, and it's like, why? There's nothing West about that school, but okay, whatever.
But not anymore. But if you look at the University of Michigan's fight song, okay, it's Champions of the West, because back when that song was written, the Big Ten was known as the Western Conference, because that whole, Michigan was a Western territory for a long time. And our big rival was Chicago. So I just want to say that at one point we were the West.
Well, I mean, nothing matters, because I mean, Oregon and USC and UCLA are in the same conference as like Purdue. So nothing borders don't matter at all in college sports. The ACC has like Stanford and Cal. That makes no sense. If you told 9-year-old me this, he would probably start crying. So, nothing matters. Borders don't mean anything. Let's just put the round ball or the oblong ball where it's supposed to go and celebrate.
What are we looking at as far as chances here for our local teams?
Michigan State has a pretty decent chance. They kind of faltered at the end, losing in the Big Ten tournament to Wisconsin after winning the regular season Big Ten. They face off against Bryant, who won their conference. Scrappy team. Michigan State should be fine. Going forward a little bit might be a little bit difficult. Their strength is that they have no leading scorer who's like in the top 33. The problem is you have no one who wants to take the game by the reins. So you kind of hope that someone decides they want to take over late. They have Jace Richardson, who's been playing pretty well. So hopefully as a freshman, he can kind of step into that. Michigan, led by 2 7-footers. One of whom, Danny Wolf, is someone who I think is an NBA player. I don't think he's going to be there originally to start because he's kind of soft for 7 feet, but he moves so well. I think a tournament like this is great for a player like him because he can unlock so many things with his height and the way that he plays. Triple threat almost anywhere on the court. They start off against USC San Diego, as a 5 seed against a 12 seed, Michigan State at 2 against a 5. I see both of them winning their first games. I think Michigan should be fine as long as they score 3 baskets and play keep away with their very tall players. Both teams have a chance to go far. Do I think they have a chance to win a national championship? No. They've both shown at times the deficiencies in their game, even against each other, as to why I don't think they have a chance to lift extra hardware. But I do think they'll make for some exciting games. And honestly, with March Madness, that's the most important thing. Unless you gamble, then like covering the spread is the most important thing.
Oh, okay. Sweet 16, Elite 8, or Final Four. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking, honestly, Sweet 16 for both of them. I'd love to see Izzo get another Final Four for him. And Dusty May it's done a really good job coming in for Michigan. I think a Sweet 16 to start would be good. I know they'll be hungry for more, given that they have a reputation to uphold with their program. I can't see it going any further than that. And I think I'd be surprised for either program.
Now, you mentioned Michigan State. Thinking about the University of Michigan, though, did Juwan Howard just suck?
Yes and no. Coaching is kind of hard. I mean, obviously, you want to get your own players in. You want to do things your own way. Like, obviously, you have a style and you try to work with what's best with the players you have. And Juwan did that his first year and was a little bit more successful. He brought in a few more of his players, which included his kids, and like it kind of went downhill. It's why typically, not all the time, but typically really good people in their field make for poor teachers. Like Isaiah Thomas, one of the best point guards in NBA history, he should not be running a basketball organization or a team because he's just not good at that. Like Michael Jordan being a coach, not a good coach. Not really a great owner with Charlotte either, but like, yeah. So I figured Juwan Howard might struggle with the sense of like, I did this. I was really good at this. Why aren't you getting it? And like the really good teachers typically are the people who like played a little bit, but weren't necessarily very good. But like they were able to get their points across, which reason why Tom Izzo has been able to stay around as long as he has. Whether you like his coaching style or not, like he's a great communicator of what he needs for you to do and then for you to do it. Sometimes players who excelled well at like doing stuff don't know how to do that in a way that helps it for you. They just say, here, I did this, now you do it. They don't tell you how to do it. So I'm not going to say that he sucked, but they definitely did underachieve. And them finishing as horrible as they did last year, for them to bounce back and now make the tournament, it doesn't really look great for him. If he's thinking about coaching again, it's definitely going to be something that would sting and kind of prevent him from going wherever he wants to go.
You know, talking about coaches, Izzo is an institution at Michigan State, and it's hard to think of any other coach there. You know, I was doing some reading, and people are saying this is not going to be his last year. He's got some more in the tank. What do you think about that?
There are times where I would see him coach and I'd say, maybe you should probably stop because the way you did things before worked really well and they still are effective, but times are changing. You can't just not get kids out of the transfer portal, for example. Like you can't over rely on it, kind of how like Juwan did, but like you can't just not do that and then play against kids who are transferred over and then are beating you as a result and then complain about, like, you can't do that. So there've been moments where I've been like, maybe time is passing you by and then they qualify for the NCAA tournament. So then I have to shut up because clearly if he can keep doing that, obviously I'm wrong.
Do you have any idea on his tenure length, or do you just...
Oh, he's going to go until the wheels fall off. Like, I think we're going to get a game where they lose, or it's a really close, stressful game, and it's going to be like him, like in the hallway, kind of holding his chest, and it's going to be like he had like heart palpitations, and like maybe he steps down now, and then you're going to see him the next game, like as if nothing fazed him. Like his contract's good until he decides he doesn't want to coach anymore. And given what he's done for the basketball program, and then financially for the school through the success of the basketball program, you kind of got to just let him. Like how Mike Krzyzewski for Duke was, when he decides he doesn't want to coach Duke anymore, that's when he leaves. When Izzo wakes up and says, I don't want to deal with these kids anymore, then you let him leave. Until then, if he's like, I want to coach, all right, you've given us no reason to think why you shouldn't. Proceed.
Fair. Fletcher Sharp, so good to talk to you.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
You know what is also very good? Our members on Patreon, because Fletcher, we cannot do that without them.
No, they definitely matter a lot, and it's really great to see them growing day by day.
Yeah, and our member-only Discord. We've got a new edition of our Rocks glasses. If you are a $10 a month tier or higher, we're working on getting our new edition Daily Detroit mugs. I did a little Instagram story with them because we heard from a lot of people that, yes, some people really like the drinks, but others, they want to enjoy their coffee on their Zoom meetings talking about Daily Detroit. And who am I to get in the way of the people?
Yeah, I mean, maybe you don't have a big old blazing flag behind you, but maybe when you're busy making your point about your spreadsheet about why the spending of your company can actually increase, you lift up your Daily Detroit mug right in frame like, sip. Maybe then it drives home the point, about how right you are and how right we are, and maybe brings in some more people. So yeah, it's a nice little slow trickle-in effect that I am very much for.
Well, with that, I'm Jer Stays. Thank you so much for listening. Cheyenne Noserini is scheduled for tomorrow's episode. For now, thank you so much for listening. Remember that you are somebody, and we'll see you around Detroit.